When you look at masterpieces, you see weather. Annunciations, depositions, expulsions, visitations, these feel unreadably legal. So many great paintings, so much greatness. Seems now just a tangle of body parts, ever more skillfully arranged. The Renaissance is full of people standing around. By the Baroque, they're writhing around like a movie reel switched from an art film to a thriller. When you stood in the chapel of Santa Maria Novella, in front of the restored frescoes, you stared past all the martyrdom and wailing and attending. Cheat sheets for churchgoers who couldn't read and couldn't understand the Latin Mass, and took in the background clouds. Odd clouds. Clouds that look like the balled-up packaging of a cheap cloud toy, discarded behind a dumpster. Maybe set on fire. But no matter how strange a cloud gets, it's still a cloud. You are nowhere near a masterpiece now. You are on a golf course, just down a long graded drive of American Services, a corner with 4 different fill-up stations, 2 of which now belong to the same company. Herringbone parking lots, just like the one at Mr. Steaks, where you watched with a group of beatified dinner-goers as a UFO descended. It was a white dot that got bigger and bigger in the evening sky. And as it did, your sense of this is... it ratcheted into your thyroids. This is... it. It turned out to be a stray advertising banner, fallen from the back of a small plane. The ad was for a competitor, Sizzler, and the long vinyl strip landed on the back of Mr. Steak's halide ballast parking lights and dangled there, like the big dirty angel at the top of Caravaggio's Saint Matthew. But you're not sure why you were on this golf course. You have no clubs and don't play anyway. Golf is the stupidest sport you can imagine. No exercise, too much equipment to carry, worse for the environment than a speedway. Not knowing why you are on this golf course is disturbing for only a few orienting blinks. You are a photographer, and have spent much of every day drifting into the unfamiliar. When you're waiting on a train, you find yourself waking up in the same station you didn't know you were asleep in. The camera is an amnesiac, constantly, comically, and tragically looking at a new world. And its amnesia is contagious. When you're on the golf course, all you can see is weather. The sky is dark, a much darker tone than the very green and black fairways, if this were printed in black and white. There's been an afternoon storm. The sky looks bruised. Down at the bottom of the hill, and over the 17th green, a crowd begins climbing towards you. They are a scrambling mass, as far from a Sunday foursome as you can figure, all following some fellow, a tour guide, a point person, a celebrity, who is charging up the fairway. They hike up awkwardly, smaller in stature and gravitationally drawn to his huge suit and elephantine stride. With every assured step of his, you come a little more unmoored. Who is this? Why are they here? Is this a media event? The Sizzler incident taught you that the media is an amniotic membrane you can push through. On one side, fed through a tube, on the other, screaming for your own air. When you're walking in the city and the cameras come on, the correspondents breathe deep. The boom men raise their arms like attic bronzes. You feel so grateful to be on the secular side of the camera, where there's no one reporting from anywhere. They get closer. They are people following someone up a hill on a dark summer's day. As they trudge through the wet grass, breathing harder, their sense of urgency slackens, and with it, the incandescence of their leader. He's just as willful, his gaits unchanged, but his followers' lungs ache. Soon, you see him better than they do. On one side of the membrane, he's a large black man in a sharkskin suit and no hat and damp loafers. On the other, he's Charles Mingus. Blue-black sky stretches away towards the distant commerce strip as Charles Mingus walks towards you, his mouth sagging with a cigarette in it. For all our succor and scorn, celebrity is nothing but the plain and the familiar. Your mother is no one special. You just recognize her in the crowd above the bassinet. And those Renaissance paintings, celebrity virgins with their entourages standing around. Charles Mingus is here. You recognize him from his album covers and store displays, and all else is wilderness. As he reaches you, he takes a sharp left and lies down on his back, on the ladies' tee. You don't like the word then. When you read, you scribble little lines through all the thens. Embarrassed at how simple the formulas are for describing time passing. As the sun goes down below the slab of sky, gilding all you can see, you realize that you've been saving all your thens for now. Mingus laid out on the manicured grass, just now backlit with alloyed halos and the wet quartz glinting and the sky all wrong. Here's what they mean by figure and background. A picture, ready-made, as easy as peristalsis. This is the corpse. You're always fantasizing about finding in the weeds when you're out shooting and the world that doesn't show up. The abandoned Warhol. dream art bursting into flames, a photographer's dream in content. The camera is a metal roll film reflex, hanging from your neck with enough real weight to remind you that you have a skeleton. You raise it to your eye and are immediately punished for it. The meter's broken. You can't find the f-stops. The focus ring feels unaligned and makes a gritty noise when it twists. You can get infinity in, but not the foreground. You press the shutter, and it responds with the saddest sound any mechanical thing can make. Silence. You let it drop. A broken camera is nothing but a cobblestone. Mightier than a sword, but only because it can strike from a distance. Before you, a Maxwell Parrish painting has been rolled in on flats. Mingus is still on his back smoking, and when he takes a drag, the tip of his cigarette is the exact orange of the sunset tinge. What a picture. Pulitzers, Guggenheims, Prix de Rome, NYFAs, NEAs, Louis Comfort, Tiffany's, Turners, Nobels, MacArthur's pile up before you. The picture is that good. A masterpiece. Maybe all you've suffered for. That badly weighted backpack of failure you keep trying to force in the overhead compartment. The unfinanced expeditioning. The sense that art has become the hair-lipped cousin of the entertainment industry. The endless envy and disdain.